guys, it's Gene with TRS on the web at dentrepairnow.com. This is a response video to John Hiley from Dent Magic. John, talking about different ways that we approach sharper, bigger dents with glue pulling on the rail. So I'm going to pull you over here and show you the dent we're working on. Definitely oversized, and pretty sharp. So, car's been here for a few days, sort of picking away at it, but you can see that we're deep here for sure. And here's a $50 to sort of show you the distortion. You still see it outside of there, so it's technically an oversized dent. And we've got some metal moved down to here and almost all the way up to the edge of the rail itself. So my approach is I like to take a small tab, and I'm a big fan of the Atlas. This tab, and I like the Dent Out Red glue. So what I want to do is I bring my light in a lot closer. In fact, I'll switch to this mini light. And the idea is to get it really close so you can see the impact point of the dent, impact point of the hailstone. So let me take you over and show you what I'm looking at here. You see that big dent with the light so close, you can really see down inside. So instead of working any crowns first or going with a big tab, I'm going to go ahead with the small tab. Go right at the center of the dent. Sort of like we were going to tool it out. We wouldn't tool it out with a big soft tip on something this sharp. So I'll show you here what we've got. With a little tab right smack in the middle of the dent. That's probably the biggest thing I've ever learned. The most important thing I've learned about glue pulling is you really have to hit center. So, no twist. If anybody watched John's earlier tutorial on glue pulling. Like my mini lifter. Nice and tight, and I like to just give it a snap. So what I mentioned to John the other day in a comment on Facebook was that my approach is similar to tooling a sharp dent, where I like to pull it up, and I'm looking for the volcano. Let me see if I can get that to show up on camera for you. You can see how the circumference of the dent is definitely shrunk, and you can see the high, but inside and next to the highs we've got that pit. So if you look at the cross section of that, it's like a volcano. You've got flat metal, then up to a ridge, which is your high spot, and then you're still down into the pit. So now we need to take the hammer and knock down and spread some of that metal out. So now what I did there is, just like I said, I knocked the ridge down and tried to spread the metal out. And I would say we've now taken our oversized dent to a solid quarter size in one pull. We go back at the center and repeat. While that's drying, I'll show you the difference from one pull to the next. See how much less distortion. Same size tab as the first pull, but we've, you know, significantly shrunk the dent. Same thing, I'm going to go with a real aggressive pull again. Really snapping. So my theory on the snap is you need to really shock the metal back up, and that's, I feel like when you pull hard like that, that's what it'll do. It helps you to get the pit up. So I'm going to show you the after. So this is 2 pulls in. And you can see how much smaller it's gotten. Getting a lot of the depth out. Same thing again, I'm going to tap the ridges. We're going to hold it here and show you. Right here is your biggest ridge. I'm going to try to tap that and spread it that way a little bit. Tap this ridge up a little bit and tap this ridge right back at me. Notice that it's pulled high on this side. I'll make sure, well, I'll explain to you while it's drying. As I'm tapping, I'm hitting the highest point of the peak, the high, and I'm tapping from the inside out. The idea is to spread the metal away from the dent out into the rail. So now I'm going to step up to the dime size Atlas tab. It's just one step bigger. I really want to try to put a hard pull on it this time, and as I bring the volcano up, I want to try to pull the whole pit up and turn it inside out into a high and finish with a sharp V. I probably won't get it on this pull, I think it's still a little too tight, but I'm going to start working that way. Okay, so while that's drying, I told you I would explain to you why I think it's pulling high on the one side. So I have my lifter on like this. If you look, the open side sits here. I've noticed it with this, I've noticed it with the slide hammer as well. The closed side of the foot or the mouth always seems to pull a little bit harder. So I'm going to pay special attention this time. When I go to set it, I'm going to spin the head 180 degrees and coming from the other side. Hopefully, hoping to sort of even out the dent. Alright, so the actual pit, I would say, is probably all about 1/4 inch long. And we got the bottom half of that 1/4 inch pit starting to turn up. The little looser spot up at the top. I'll bring the camera over and try to show you. So, there we go. So you can see right here is still a high ridge, but you can see that the bottom of the pit here is starting to tighten up or come out. And with a little looser section here. So before I knock down, I'm going to throw a smaller tab on this more open area right here, see if we can get it to move. It's a nice aggressive snap. Well, I pulled a little bit more of it out. I'll bring you over and show you one more time. So, sort of back to the volcano theory, or still working the volcano theory. I'm going to go ahead and tap the ridges down, spread the metal out, give it another aggressive pull to try to get that center right. You always go, another tip here, or my technique, I always go for, if I have 2 different levels of high that I'm going after, I always go after the highest one first, and it seems to help. Alright, let me show you how I've got it opened up and spread back out. It's a lot softer. Here's when you hope that you start to make some real progress. It's even a little bit bigger than after our first pull, but it's not nearly as deep. I'm going to go with a nickel size tab this time. Hit it with a real aggressive pull. See how we turn out. And another trick, maybe, hopefully we don't have to go that far. If you're having a hard time getting that center up, instead of the lifter, sometimes I'll switch to the slide hammer. You seem to get a more aggressive snap at the top. You want to give it a pretty good bump. Like I said, I'm hoping to do this all with the lifter. We'll see how it turns out. That's a nice pull. Let me show you what we're talking about here. Still a little bit of the pit left, but not much. Maybe right there, if you can see it, just on the edge of the light. So, pretty significant high, but this personally is how I like to do the bigger dents on the rails. I like to finish with a hammer and knock down, and a little bit of a blending hammer. And this is coming out awesome. So you can see how soft the dent is now. There's no more sharp depth left. So I'm going to go with a nice dime size tab. And give it a good snap, see how we look. Alright, here we go. If you're lucky, this will be the last pull. Back to like we're going to snap it, press the pull. It's nice and soft. Probably could have let the glue dry for 10 more seconds, but we weren't pulling the sharp dent anymore. Definitely pulled nice. I'll show you. There. Now, maybe for some of you newer guys, in reading dents, we know that we've got a big high right there where I just pulled. Some guys will think that the metal on either side is low. It's just an illusion that the big high spot creates. All right. All right. I think it's going to be really hard to see in the camera now. I'm going to go ahead and put a circle around the dent we're working on. Me and another guy have been picking away at this rail for a couple of days. So I want to show you exactly where we were at. Alright, hopefully this marker will show up on the camera. Yeah. So our dent is inside of that circle. You just see a little, see right there. Micro low is about all that's left of the dent. As far as pulling goes, you can still see a hair of a crown at the top of the circle and a hair at the bottom right there. I'm going to go ahead and put one tiny pull in that micro low. Then we'll get the blending hammer out and try to smooth it all in. Pretty good. I don't see anything outside of the tab that I don't see looking the other direction. Just give it a little pull. Now this is just a light little lift. I don't want to snap it. If the glue's all the way dry, I might not even pull the tab all the way off the cart. I just want to bring that micro low that I showed up. Just holding a little bit of tension. I can feel the glue breaking away. There it is. Alright, so I got most of that micro low up. I got one little speck of the original pit left. Just sort of near the top. It's really not much bigger than just a large piece of orange peel. But before I start blending it, I'm going to try to pull it. I'm going to go with the polished head on the blending hammer instead of the rubber. I know John in his video was using a rubber head. I personally just have better luck blending with a steel head. Alright, let me show you what we got left, and hopefully the rest will all be hammer work and knockdown work. Just a little, actually it looks way more high on the camera than it does in person. So first thing I'm going to do is tap down the major high that you can see, then get the blending hammer out, step away, and try to blend her in and finish it up. Go to the blending hammer here and see how we do. Just a little bit of fine touch up with the knockdown. Cross check. Let me show you where we're at. One little speck. If I can get it to show up. Right there. Right here. Yeah, there you can see it. It's part of the original pit. I'm going to give it a little pull and a little tap, and I think we're probably going to be done. The car's getting a new deck lid, and they're blending into the quarter panel. You're actually going to get a coat of clear on this whole thing anyways. We still try to lay them out as flat as possible. And since it is a little bit of a tight pit, I want to make sure that I give it just a little bit of a snap here. Just a nice little high spot right there. Now if I'm on my game today, I should be able to blend that right out with the hammer and knockdown, and we'll be finished. Alright guys, percentage wise, I'd say we were in the upper 90s, which will fly all day long. Reach over here and I'll let you look at it both ways. Pretty smooth, pretty flat. The crowns are gone. The sharp pit's all but gone. Orange peel texture's a little bit off, but not that anybody will notice. And also, like I said, this car's going to paint. So, it's the other direction with another colored light. Alright guys, I'm Gene, again with TRS, on the web at dentrepairnow.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you guys out.